Come and dream with me.
Hello and welcome to What Do You Want to Watch, the Explosion Network's premier media podcast. Every fortnight we get together to talk about movies, TV and online content and help you answer the question, who should the Explosion Network fight on a boxing match stream online? Send your suggestions to @ExplosionPod. Joining me today, Nicholas Pryor.
Hello.
And also Dylan Blight.
No shit. So this afternoon, I'm sitting down thinking we're recording this show today. And I literally had the thought, if Ash brings up that fucking garbage, I'm going to be angry.
I don't even know what she's talking about.
And then you open the show with it. Ugh.
So you guys watched the massive internet event that was KSI versus Logan Paul?
I don't know what either of those things are.
How did you not know about this? It was watched by like nearly 500,000 people. It was all
pay-per-view
over fucking
as well, yeah.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No?
You're insane.
Okay.
You're worse than Kieran for living under a rock.
No. Okay.
Is this something I should care about?
Probably not.
No, you shouldn't care, but I'm just fascinated that
You don't know.
don't know to not care. Because I saw it everywhere, and I made a point of not even liking the tweets talking shit about it. I was just like, I will just try and pretend it doesn't exist because it is stupid and ridiculous, and I was trying to mute words, and I was still getting it showing up on my timeline. Oh my god. And I unfollowed 2 people who were live tweeting it. Not naming names, but bye.
Okay.
Well, I know it wasn't me.
No, it certainly wasn't you.
It didn't even show up in my bloody feeds anywhere.
The rundown, quickly, for anyone who's like Nick, uninitiated, I suppose, is KSI, YouTuber. Logan Paul, everyone, you've heard of Logan Paul.
Oh, is he
right?
the Murder Forest dude?
Yes. Yes, that's correct. Those two had a boxing match.
Why?
For
Yes,
money
Nick.
reasons.
You're right. And the answer is yes, money.
It's like
I mean, do
Floyd
they have a
Mayweather,
beef
Conor
or something
McGregor.
going on? Or?
Oh, they had a fake beef.
Yeah.
And they'll have more fake beef until they do it again.
Because
And
spoiler
roast
alert, it was a draw.
Yeah.
Shocking.
It was a draw, and then they've already got another fight set for February.
Did you
And they
watch it,
also-
Ash?
No, I watched Aussie Man's Instagram story talking about it. That was good. Shout out to Aussie
I wonder
Man.
if
They
are
also-
they actually decent fighters?
No. They
Judging
could
by
throw a
what I
punch.
saw Danny O'Dwyer tweeting,
Yeah.
no.
I don't care. Move on.
And I don't know anything about boxing to judge it myself, but from what I saw from people who watch more fighting stuff than I do, no is the answer. They also dropped 2 rap songs 2 days before the fight. Yes. And one of those I clicked on because I'm like, I can't. I'm at work. Fuck it. I can't help myself. I will click on these fucking rap songs because I just need to know how you do a rap song leading up to a boxing fight where you talk shit. And it was, I reckon they spent $5 million on these. One, like KSI's video is fucking all over the place. It's like a full on rap video. And then Logan Paul does one the day after where he's like in the box, he's like training, and then he comes out and he's like, his brother's like, hey man, he did this rap song about you talking shit. And Logan Paul's like topless, of course. He's like, I ain't got time to do another rap song back to get back to him, man. And then of course he does a rap song, and then the end of the rap song, it ends with him just being like, Mavericks, buy my merch. And that's how it ends. They're memes. They're literally memes. They're hilarious. Fuck them. Fuck their fans. Fuck off.
How do I get this time back?
They're cunts.
I'm
on.
grateful we talked about this because it's going to boost the analytics for this episode. Let's jump into what we've actually been watching. A movie that I wanted to see but haven't gotten around to seeing yet. I want to hear your opinion on it, Dylan. The Meg.
Oh, right. Let me just point out. There's a point in the movie. It's only happened once, and it's right at the end of the movie where the sound like kind of dies out in this epic moment as Jason Statham's fighting the shark towards the end of the movie, and the cinema goes kind of silent, and then I just begin chuckling. It really awkward. It was so bad. I was just like, I couldn't help myself. But overall, I wouldn't say it's terrible. It's definitely not good. It is the reason it's neither terrible or even good is because it is just so paint by numbers and doesn't commit to either being a horror movie with lots of blood and gore. There's barely no gore, which I find ridiculous in a shark movie. Give me the fucking arms bloody being ripped off and stuff. You know, come on. What are we watching this movie for? And then it doesn't commit to being silly either. So it just rides in the middle to a point where it's just kind of boring. It won't commit to being anything. It doesn't really know. And I read interviews with the director and Jason Statham after I saw the movie. Both of them outwardly speaking about the fact that there was studio interference and there are deaths cut from the movie. It was cut to be PG rated after the director shot a lot of gory stuff. Jason Statham said the whole star of the movie wasn't originally in it when he was signed on to do it. So they're not really happy about the way the movie turned out. Would I suggest watching it? I mean, look, I laughed, so I didn't hate it. It's just
It's a ringing endorsement.
There are a couple moments. It's if you got nothing better to do, sure, but yeah, it's not Jaws and it's not Sharknado. It's just kind of sitting in the middle of,
Yeah.
whatever. Jason Statham is needed to make it work as well because he's the only one with any sort of charisma and personality to.
He doesn't have
carry the movie.
personality. He has one fucking person, one fucking
Yeah, but
emotion.
it's still Jason Statham, which is still character. Like him saying, "Oh my god, it's a megalodon." That's funny. That carries the movie.
All right.
And the shot at the end where I laughed. Oh my god! Like I swear, if you go watch the movie, you'd be able to go. This is the moment where Dylan was like, "This is hilarious."
Yeah, after all that, do you still want to see it, Ashley?
I can wait. I can wait.
I can tell you, it's not going to scare you.
Okay. How about we talk about something that maybe people should see instead? BlacKkKlansman. You saw that, Nick? The new Spike Lee film? What'd you think?
A Spike Lee joint, actually.
Joint? So it's
yeah,
not
it
a
was
film?
No, it's a joint.
Okay, then I guess we can't talk about it on this podcast. Moving on. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it was really good. It's very powerful and definitely, it's definitely of its top, like, of the now period and the message it's getting across and all that. The acting was pretty good. It had some good humor in it. Yeah, I think it's definitely a must-see, especially with the message it's telling, and it's very powerful. I didn't think I'd go into it being super affected, but coming out of it, like, it hit me harder than I thought it would.
Okay. But do the Ku Klux Klan die? Do they get theirs? Spoiler free, but
Yeah, I guess. They're more made out to be embarrassed than
okay.
killed, I guess.
Cool.
It's definitely not it's not a very violent movie, I don't think.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Moving on to something else I've been watching, continuing our trend of being the number one Netflix podcast here in Australia. I watched Disenchantment, the new Matt Groening series, featuring, it's like a medieval sort of based series set in, I think it's Happily Ever After Land or something like that. Some generic thing. This is meh. It's alright. It's
Really?
Yeah.
It looked meh.
It's not great. It's okay. It's hard to separate his previous work to this because you see elements of other characters he's had in Futurama and in The Simpsons in the characters, like the main character Bean's brother. It's like so Ralph Wiggum. It's ridiculous. Like you can see the parallels, see the connect, sort of the similar. Even the main, like the Elfo character. I don't know if you've seen it in like the promotional stuff. He's got like an orange shirt, so you instantly think Bart Simpson. But yeah, it just didn't. I don't know. I guess this first season didn't click great, but it does end, like, it picks up in the last two episodes and gets a bit more serialized. And I kind of want to watch season 2.
I looked up the ending.
I kind of want to see
I
season
looked up
2.
the big twist ending. Well, I don't know if it's twist ending. I looked up what happens at the end because I couldn't help myself and I had little to no interest.
Yeah.
And I found it intriguing, I guess,
Yeah.
but it didn't make me want to watch it.
No, but
So
I've watched 10 episodes. I mean, what's another 10 in like a year's time?
How long are the episodes?
you also watch every
it's
10
like-
episodes of every Netflix series ever.
It ranges from like 25 to 35 minutes, depending on. And there's a couple of good jokes, a couple of good chuckles. I mean, if you got nothing else to watch, I mean,
If you got nothing else to watch, you can watch The Meg or Disenchantment.
Yeah. Does the next film I want to talk about fall into this category, Dylan? Rampage.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You're just watching all the big animal movies.
It's got The Rock in it. Come on, I gotta
Yeah,
watch
the
it.
big animal movies.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it was everything I thought it was going to be, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So you can watch the trailers. You know what it's going to be. It's going to be ridiculous. It doesn't really try and hide the fact. It tries to be a lot more serious than you would think it would be. I mean, it tries to make you cry at points, and the music is off. Like it's like you got this orchestra. Like it's like, oh, it's rock is danger. What's gonna happen? You're like, I'm not laughing, but there's several shots. There's slight spoil. It's not a fucking spoiler. Fuck off. There's one point towards the end of the movie where they're at the top of this tower, and you got the apes climbing it, and the camera's kind of like panning around this big skyscraper building. You got this ape climbing up it, and then they show this fox. It's a wolf. The wolf climbing up it, and then the other monster's this giant fucking alligator. And when the camera goes around to the other side of the building, and you see this alligator just like slowly with its little legs just like boop, boop, just climbing up this tower, that was a laugh out loud. This is ridiculous fucking moment. CGI wise and stuff though, looks pretty cool. Special effects weren't shit, so that carries it. There wasn't one moment where, you know, it was like, okay, that looked kind of dodgy, but it is exactly what you would expect it to be if you've watched the trailers, and you will know that if you're going to hate it, but based off the trailer, you're going to hate it. I'm pretty sure that, you know, Nick's side, as soon as it's brought up, if Nick went in to watch this movie, he knows he's going to hate it, and he will hate it because it's not for him. However, as someone who just likes watching The Rock as a, you know, I sat down to watch this obviously as a fuck around, kind of want to multitask on my laptop at the same time, do other stuff sort of movie. Don't need to pay too much attention to it. That's exactly what this movie's for. And if you like The Rock, he carries movies. He does have charisma, and he can carry movies just off his own.
So this versus Skyscraper.
I haven't watched Skyscraper yet.
No, I haven't watched Rampage.
Oh,
Yes.
See which one makes our top 10 at the end of the year.
might
Was
say
Rampage
neither,
out this year?
Yeah, I think it was.
Jeez.
Or maybe it was very late last year, or maybe it was.
No, I
late
think it
last
was this year.
and then
It was
us.
this year, yeah.
Okay.
So,
You know what else? It could be one of the better video game movies. Rampage.
it's not a high bar.
I would say it's better than most video game movies. Not like that's saying a lot.
Better than Doom.
However, yes.
Better than Resident Evil.
Yes.
Better than Silent Hill.
No.
Correct answer.
Nick, why don't you talk about the TV series you've been checking out, The Strain?
Yeah, I picked the first season up on special. Thought I'd give it a go, considering Guillermo del Toro was attached to it. I didn't realise it was based off a book he wrote, apparently. And from what I can tell from watching the show, he had not a bit major hand in it, because it is the definition of mid-tier. Like, the premise is alright, but the writing is okay, the acting is okay, just full of exposition and fucking... it's just... Like, it's interesting for a watch, but I wouldn't say rush out and go and see this, like, right now. There's plenty of other good TV
So what's
to
the
watch.
premise?
It's basically a modern take on a vampire. Like, this coffin comes in on a plane from Germany, and then all the people are dead on the plane, and then like the main character is a CDC doctor, and he's investigating it, and then like the disease spreads throughout New York, and that's as far as I've gotten so far.
Okay, so
it's kind of like a modern take on a vampire, like explaining it in a scientific kind of way.
okay, so
Yeah, it's very meh.
Yeah, as we discussed in our Discord, explosionnetwork.com/Discord, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but the reason I checked it out was Guillermo del Toro plus David Bradley, and he's good in it, but it wasn't enough because I just wanted to. If David Bradley, for those who don't know, he is the what do you call him, the dude from Harry Potter with the cat. What's the job?
The guy, the landscaper.
Well, it's not a landscape. It's the housekeeper.
Yeah,
whatever.
the one with the cat.
Dude, anyway, yes,
the guy from the Red Wedding.
Yeah.
Also the guy from the Red Wedding. Yeah, so that's David Bradley, or portrays the first Doctor in Doctor Who. There you go. There's another.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
that's another thing for you. Yeah, that's another thing for you. So he's quite good in it, but yeah, I thought it was very mediocre, and I didn't continue watching it.
How much did you end up watching?
Only like 3-4 episodes.
Yeah, like I don't think he gets any better. Like I think he gets worse because his character, at points, when everyone's asking him a question, he just like stares off in space and spits out exposition.
Yeah, I think that was his job though.
Yeah,
because to be crazy
doesn't work for me. But I'll finish watching the first season since I bought it.
There's only 4 seasons.
There is, so I'll probably end up watching them all.
Completionist.
Yeah, sucker for punishment. Continuing the Netflix thread for me, I watched the series Magic for Humans. I know Dylan checked out the first episode, I believe. This is it's kind of like a sketch show, but with magic.
It's weird.
It starring Justin Willman, a magician. He just goes out in the street and does magic for people. And like, apparently it's no cuts, but come on, there's no way that the stuff that he does doesn't have some sort of camera trickery. It can't be real. He makes money appear at one point, like just flicking bits of paper in his hand.
That'd be nice.
He pulls out an umbrella from like a paper bag. It's crazy. He starts floating.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I've watched 5 of the 6 episodes. There's sort of a theme for each episode as well, which kind of ties together pretty well, I thought. But yeah, it's good fun.
I'll probably finish it as like light watching or something like that.
It's very light.
I liked the first episode. I wasn't a huge fan because it is kind of. Back in the day, I was huge. When I got into magic and I started watching fucking shit ton of David. I started watching older David Blaine things I could find and whoever else, and I became a huge Chris Angel fan. And I know Chris Angel is in the magic community because some people hate him, some people love him because he was basically the birth of the TV era showman, ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like. It was crazy, and it was the whole is it camera tricks, is it all this sort of stuff. He was the head of that. So I mean, nothing that I saw in the first episode was, oh my god, this is fucking nuts, because some of the shit Chris Angel does, which you can look up how he does, and then you're like, okay, that actually makes sense. It just requires a bit of pre-planning ahead, which is how most magic tricks work. And so nothing was completely shocking, but then I do find some of the stuff where it's combined into skits worked and didn't work, and I'll be interested to see how it goes forward. Like the first episode's about kids, and there's a whole, but then they're trying to teach you stuff at the same time. Is
the theme.
Yeah, it's like they're like, here's self-control. We're gonna put you in a room, and he's in a room with these kids at school or whatever, and he's sitting across the table from them, and it's self-control. So here's one marshmallow on the plate, and he tells the kids not to eat the marshmallow, and if you don't eat it,
you get 2 marshmallows.
When the teacher comes back, you get another marshmallow. So self-control, whatever. And then he does magic trick where he eats it, and then all of a sudden he starts throwing up 50 fucking marshmallows.
He pulls out marshmallows out of his mouth.
Yeah. Well, look, they're out of his mouth, and all I'm going to say is he then says, "Here, eat it, kid." You know.
I also enjoyed.
And there's another.
They did the kids by themselves, and he gave them a cup, and if they could put the cup over to like hide the marshmallow, so they weren't looking at it, and make it easier, and then they'd put it on it, and then the marshmallow would disappear. He just traumatized
Yeah.
3 children.
He did. Literally one of those kids just starts bawling, like crying. You've literally ruined a kid's life over a marshmallow. But yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's light watching.
It's a fun watch. It's not.
Yeah.
Not everything has to be prestige.
No, I just find it weird. I find its mix weird.
Yeah.
Based off one episode solely, and maybe it gets fixed. I did find the mix of the skits with the magic, with the thematic stuff, with the random interviews with people when he like went to talk to someone about meditation at some point, and then basically made fun of them. I was like, well, that's a bit of a weird segue,
Okay.
but
I can get that. Yeah. There's a lot of lighthearted stuff, and there's some mean-spirited stuff in there as well. So, but
yeah,
I guess it's a but it's a fun watch. The other thing that blew up on Twitter from this weekend is the movie To All the Boys I Ever Loved, the Netflix romantic comedy with the American Asian lead. I watched this. I believe Dylan watched it as well. I thought it was really good. I think the one thing that I didn't realize until I read up about it is the cinematography in this is really impressive. There's some beautiful shots, which is crazy because it's a basic rom-com. It shouldn't look.
I explain what you just said. You just said
You didn't realize the cinematography was good until you looked it up, but you didn't realize when you were watching it.
Calm down, Philip.
I had to be told the cinematography was
Calm
good.
down, Philip Mushin or whatever his fucking name
I was
is.
just engaged in the story. I didn't. Obviously, wasn't paying that much attention to the. Obviously, I picked it up while I was watching it, but
Yeah. Okay.
once someone actually said it, it just that moment. Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I don't think it's the second coming of romantic comedies, which everybody's building it up to be, but it was a good.
So, it blew up in social media in what way? Because I still haven't seen anything on it.
Well, do you follow anything or look?
I've tweeted about it twice myself, I think.
No, I haven't seen it. Well, I just saw it pop up on New or whatever on Netflix today when I was looking for something to watch.
I know. I've seen a bunch of
very
people
much
tweeting about
enjoyed
it.
it.
Yeah.
I
What were they saying
would
about
watch
it,
it.
though?
I would watch it again today.
Yeah. I've watched half of it since watching it the first time. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I do enjoy a good rom-com, and I much prefer this compared to your 90s Hugh Grant shit, which I'm not a fan of. It's weird to be I enjoy a good rom-com, then be I hate most Hugh Grant stuff because that's what people fucking consider rom-coms. I
Love
suppose,
Actually
but
is the greatest rom-com ever written.
you're wrong.
No, I'm not.
It's this. I don't
No, it's
know.
not.
This is better than Love Actually. But I really enjoyed this, and it is shot very nice. The actresses, most actors. There's one of the guys I found a little bit off. Not one of the main guys. I think it was the. I can't remember. It's like the neighbor or whatever. You know that one.
Josh.
I found him. Yeah,
The
I found him weird
sister's
at times.
boyfriend.
Yeah, the sister's boyfriend. I found him odd at times. I don't know if that was just me, but everyone else I really liked, and the main girl who's Jubilee from X-Men,
Yeah,
is it?
Lana Condor.
Yeah.
She's
she's
I
really,
knew
really
she was
good
from
in this.
X-Men. I couldn't figure out which X-Men film she was like. I'm like,
Well, not like she had a big fucking role
No,
anyway.
yeah.
So
Which one is she in?
the last one,
the new
Apocalypse.
ones. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
I heard it was garbage.
Wasn't she in Days of Future Past as well?
No,
Though?
or maybe.
Was it Jubilee? Okay.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Either way, I'm
She
pretty
was in
sure
the
she
road
just
cut.
stands in the background and doesn't say fucking anything. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, she's really, really good in this. And my number one call out, costume design.
Yeah.
This is all I'm going to say. She wears about 100 different outfits in this movie.
Yeah.
And they're all on point. They all score 10 out of 10
All on
points
fleek.
from Dylan.
Is that
They are
what
all on fleek. Yes, that is the saying. They are all on fleek. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this movie. It's just a heartwarming, fun rom-com, and I would quite happily just watch it again today. No troubles about it, because it was funny, heartwarming, written well, acted well.
I mean, it's not. I feel like that concept, of the fake relation. Well, the premise of the story is that she's written all these love letters to people she's fallen for, but one of them's her sister's boyfriend / ex-boyfriend. They break up right at the beginning of the movie. And then the letters that she kept just for herself get sent out to all of them. And then one of them is like her ex-best friend's boyfriend who just broke up with... They just broke up. And
and fuck her. They also call out that scene. One scene that made me really happy. I hate Ugg boots in public. I hate Ugg boots in public. It is like if you're outside in Ugg boots, disgusting. That's all I'm saying. You're scoring 0 on Dylan's fashion. Nick's over there. Like I'm sure fucking Nick's probably wears Ugg boots.
No, I wear
outside.
socks and thongs.
Sandals. You're fucking just as bad as Ugg boots. But if Ugg boots are not, they're slippers, right? You only wear them inside. And there's a scene in this movie where the cool blonde chick who she's not friends with or whatever, she's wearing Uggs and they make fun of her. And I was like, fuck yes, movie. 10 out of 10 best movie of the year so far. By the time we got to the end of it, still a great movie, not the best movie of the year, but there was that 10-second period where I was like, this scene alone for making fun of Uggs, yes, please.
But yeah, so her and Peter Kavinsky, the guy, start a fake relationship, but it becomes so much more by the end of the film. Yeah,
look, the plot's not
yeah.
what makes it stand out. It is just the way it's done.
But that's like most
told.
romantic comedies. It's about the chemistry and the charisma of the actors and that sort of thing.
Yeah. And it's also making waves, I think, at the moment because it is an Asian American cast led.
Yeah.
You know, and at the same time where you have Crazy Rich Asians.
Which I found,
is that what it's called?
Crazy Rich
Asian.
I find
Asians?
amusing because apparently Netflix bid to get, like they put down a lot of money to get Crazy Rich Asians.
For that?
But apparently
really?
they turned it down because they wanted to get it in cinemas. So it's funny that they're releasing this film exactly the same weekend that it comes out.
In spite.
Yeah. Well, Netflix got one of the tweets I sent out was whatever, can't remember what website it was, but they talked to the author of the book because it's based on a book and there's 3 books.
Yep.
And apparently she had, like, people had been trying to buy this story off her since the original one came out. And every time she'd go to a movie executive to talk about them making into it, they'd all be like, well, you know, we'll buy it for however much, but you got to change the lead to a white girl. And she would be like, no. And go to somewhere else. Got to change it to a white girl. No. And eventually Netflix was the only place that said, yeah, what? No. Yeah, we'll just buy it and it's...
Yeah.
Why you don't need to change the main character to a white girl. That's silly. So that's how Netflix got the rights apparently. But yeah, when I read that story, I was just shaking the whole time because I can't picture how someone could sit across the desk, you know, because I picture it, you know, desk, she's sitting down, there's a dude in the suit behind it that's like, love it, love it, love it. $50 million trillion, but got to change it to a white girl. And how you could say that seriously, I don't know. But, you know, so that's just proves that this shit's still happening.
Yeah.
So.
Because they only look in terms of dollar value, not social issues.
But you have to be a true scumbag. And, I mean, we know they are. So, yeah.
Corporations are scumbags.
They are. You have to be a scumbag to do that job. And, I mean, you know, they hire scumbags and scumbags do good jobs at being scumbags. But, you know, I really like this movie. I'll probably end up watching it at least once more before then. Do you, I'd say?
For the beautiful cinematography.
Yeah.
For the beautiful cinematography. I watch it for the outfits. I'm legit. I'm legit on the costume. I can't remember if I retweeted it or just liked it, but someone drew like 10 of the 30 outfits of hers and put it up on Twitter. And I'm all for this. Yep. I need this.
Beautiful cinematography, beautiful mise en scène. That's how from me. Yeah. Costuming. It's great. Let's move into some film news. So the big news of the past fortnight. Danny Boyle is not directing Bond 25 anymore. All the producers and Daniel Craig all came out and sort of made the announcements. And it seems like this movie's hit a major snag. What were you guys' thoughts? I'm kind of disappointed Danny Boyle's not directing. But what do you guys think?
Well, I hope Daniel Craig goes too. And they just start fresh.
Well, the most interesting thing about the press release is that Daniel Craig's name's on it, which I think
implies that he's definitely going to be in this film.
Implies that he had a hand in Danny Boyle's firing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because from there was an article, I can't remember where it was from, but they said that every Bond girl from all of his movies Daniel Craig has had to sign off as,
Yeah.
like every single Bond girl is him.
Apparently
being
he's got
"That's the one."
casting.
He's
approval.
oddly very controlling about what it is, considering every time the last one's out, he always says, "Oh, this is my last one."
Yeah. But yeah, apparently he has a high say in what goes down with the cast and everything like that. So what exactly him and Danny Boyle clashed about, don't know.
Well, he can't be too
rumors, of
concerned
course,
about the
but-
fucking writing in the movies because the last fucking two of them were shit.
Fuck off. The best one.
Oh, sorry,
is-
Skyfall was good. I mean, the Quantum and the
Yeah.
fucking
Oh
Spectre.
yeah, Quantum and I can't remember what the last one. Spectre. Terrible, but
Garbage.
Skyfall is my favorite Bond movie all time.
Wrong, that's GoldenEye.
I feel like you can disagree with it, but like you can't
No,
be
it's
like
an unequivocal
Skyfall's like if you say that Skyfall isn't your favorite, you still can't be like that's too. It's not a terribly hot take to say Skyfall is one of the.
Oh no, it's up there. Yeah. There's no GoldenEye.
Apparently-
I like Danny Boyle's movies, but I didn't see him suiting the franchise at all from day one. So
Yeah, it was an odd pick. Apparently, according to the Telegraph in UK, so take this with a grain of salt.
isn't that like the Daily Mirror? Or
Yeah.
whatever? Daily Mail.
Danny Boyle wanted to cast an actor called Thomas Kott as the main villain for the film. Apparently, he's like a Polish actor and Daniel Craig apparently wasn't keen on him, and that's why they clashed.
He hates Polish people.
Yeah,
is what
pretty
you're
much. There's probably a joke. Well, I guess from a
7 years too late.
certain degree, like he's not really a big name to go up against. Whereas in like the other films, he's gone up against like
saying. Yeah.
Javier Bardem,
Christoph
Waltz,
Javier, yeah.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen. Yeah, so
Mads Mikkelsen.
Whatever
Whoever the
Quantum
fuck was in
Solace
Quantum of
was.
Solace. I
The
don't
fucking
know.
the solar panels.
The solar panel.
Matu.
I honestly can't remember who was in
Almeric.
that fucking movie.
I don't know.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
But Mads Mikkelsen wasn't a big name when they did Casino Royale, so or maybe he didn't have much say in the first one, I suppose.
yeah, but yeah. So apparently, there's a short list of directors that they're looking to bring in. Top of the list.
Don't say Christopher Nolan.
Top of the list. Edgar Wright.
No, never happened. Look what happened to Ant-Man.
But he has said in the past that he would. I would be a fool to say no, but I will definitely say never say never.
Oh.
Got him. Yeah, no, I can't see Edgar Wright working within the studio confines, considering what happened with Ant-Man.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to see
Actually,
it. Though.
never say never again.
Yeah, I'd like to see it, but yeah, I don't see it.
Okay, next on the list, David Mackenzie, director of Hell or High Water.
Sure.
Yeah. I
haven't seen it,
yeah.
but I want to.
You haven't seen Hell or High? That movie's like 100% up your alley. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I own it. I just haven't gotten around to watching it yet.
Also, a director called Jan Demange, I believe is how to pronounce it. Directed a film called 71. Pretty not as big a name as some of the others on this list. And the last one that's on this short list that I can see is
Ron Howard.
Jean-Marc Vallée, famous for Big Little Lies, Sharp Objects, and Wild.
No.
No.
They should get Dennis Villeneuve.
He is
a
on the
fan of
list.
his-
He was on a previous list, but obviously he's busy.
Because he
Working on
does
the
do well
Dune.
with action films. Sicario was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, those...
I mean, honestly, my 2 cents on James Bond is I don't care about the franchise anymore.
No.
No, I think I've said this before, so...
Well, it wasn't
When
meant
they-
for
when they-
you.
No, this is coming from someone who was, as a kid, used to collect those weekly or monthly, like, James Bond news. They had a thing at the news agency. You know,
Yeah.
it was like, you could buy now. It's like every week it was a book.
Like, each week get a James Bond car or something like that.
Well, it was a page for a book that you would build to a huge encyclopedia about the franchise.
You buy a book page by page.
Or something like that. I don't remember. But look, I love the
Just
franchise.
Google
as
it,
a kid.
man.
Casino Royale was really great. I remember watching that, being amazed, especially at the start of that movie. Quantum of Solace is a big, giant turd. Skyfall, one of my favorite movies the year that came out. However, the last movie was bad. terrible. And I can't. I just watched this Mission Impossible movie, and I can't.
Well, apparently
it will never live
there
up.
are rumors going around that Chris McQuarrie is being courted as well.
They can't fix the screenplay issues unless he's writing it.
Well, I assume they'd have to. I imagine this is going to get delayed. There's no way that it's going to hit the release date, I think, which was next year.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody cared.
Yep.
Segue.
Guardians of the Galaxy is being put on hold indefinitely until they find a director. What a surprise! So they've in the last fortnight they definitely confirmed that James Gunn is not coming back, and yeah, I guess we also this was going to happen. This is getting delayed until they can find somebody suitable. I don't know.
And Dave Bautista is not going to be in Guardians 3.
Yeah, I think he'd be the one that's the most ballsiest enough to say, I'm done.
I reckon he quits, yeah.
Yeah, or doesn't.
Which would be disappointing because he's one of the best things about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I rewatched Infinity War the other day, and that part where he's standing invisible, still the funniest part of the movie. Still the funniest part of the movie.
Okay.
Oddly, he's the best part of that movie and the worst part is Spectre. Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
I forgot he was in Spectre, but yeah, the fucking car chase and whatever the fuck else was going on. Yeah, so Guardians, they fucked it up. I don't know who actually thought Gunn was going to come back. I never thought for a second thought that because you can't backpedal after that. Like you just set a precedent for, So who will they get to direct it? Probably fucking Taika
Danny Boyle.
Waititi. Ron Howard.
Ron Howard, you've got another job.
Yeah.
Let's move to this one. I think going to make Dylan very happy. A Veronica Mars revival on Hulu is in the works.
Yes.
According to Deadline, the story, some of the details are vague, but Hulu is finalizing the deal, and with Kristen Bell to come back and star. Dylan, does this make you all happy inside?
I started getting really happy, and then I was a proper adult and read the news story, not just the headline, and got to the part where they said, in talks to finalize, full stop or whatever. And I was like, okay, don't get too excited until it's confirmed, because the headline says Veronica Mars is coming back, and you're like, holy fuck! All right, I'll click the link. Only 1% of the I'm in the 1% that clicks the link, but I will, and I'll actually read the
headline
story.
says it's coming back, but the story says, they've had a discussion in a board meeting somewhere about possibly bringing it back.
Yeah, so that's how the news works these days. But it's one of these, they're at the 99%, so they just chuck around as it's basically confirmed, but there's always a chance it falls through because that does happen. But Veronica Mars is in my top 5, whatever. I guess I've never actually done my list. Maybe for top 5 of Nick, maybe one day I'll do it. Who knows? But Veronica Mars is one of my favorite TV shows. I really, really enjoy it, and the Veronica Mars movie was really, really good as well. So I'm 100% down for more Veronica Mars.
As long as it has the guy from Just Shoot Me back in it. The dad.
I assume, maybe. I don't know. Here's what I'm going to do. I already thought about it. If they 100% confirm it's coming back, then I'm rewatching it all again. I have to. That's as good excuse as any. Because the last time I had a good excuse to do it was the movie's out. The movie's coming out.
Did you crowdfund the movie?
Yeah, I think I put $5 in or something like that. I didn't think I had much money at the time, but chucked in a couple bucks. Not like they needed it. It was at the time. I can't remember the record, but at the time it was one of those. They funded that shit and so fast, and it wasn't heard of at the time, and kind of set a standard of, hey, you don't actually need to go to movie studios to do shit if you really want to. Fans will help fund projects that they want to see.
Yep. And
Veronica Mars was one of the first to do that. And a lot of people, the movie didn't review really, really well because the movie is basically season 4. It's like a continuation. It doesn't stand on its own very well. So it didn't review that well. But as a fan of the TV show, was everything I could have wanted. Continuation of the franchise.
Yep.
I never thought would get more though. The movie was quite, not that it needed wrapping up, but it was good to have that closure. Yeah. Okay. So there's also like I can't remember the fucking creator of the show's name. Fuck. He does iZombie now. Rob Thomas. Rob Thomas
Rob
is the creator.
Thomas.
Yeah, there you go. So
From
yeah, Rob
Matchbox
Thomas
20.
is
No, another Rob Thomas.
yeah. No, I don't think it's the right one. He has wrote like 2 novels, Veronica Mars novels and stuff like that on the side as well. So and these were in between the movie and whatever else. So it's a character that I think he just has love for, and I'm pretty sure iZombie's in its last season this year or next year or whenever it's coming back.
I believe
So
it's finishing soon.
So the news all kind of makes sense because
He needs something
he
to
finishes
do.
up. Yeah, he finishes up iZombie and then he goes back to Veronica Mars, which means his life is basically Veronica Mars, iZombie, Veronica Mars. iZombie's back, everyone.
Important note that apparently Veronica Mars will not interfere with Kristen Bell's involvement in the brilliant NBC series The Good Place.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. Very important.
Even if it did, it would be worth it.
What are your opinions on Veronica Mars, Nick? Did you ever get into it?
I think I watched an episode when it was airing, but other than that, like,
Yeah.
no.
I feel like I've
I
watched the
don't really
first
care about
episode like 2 or 3 times to try and get into it. And
What's wrong with
just,
you?
yeah, it just didn't click. But if it comes back, I know you'll want to be doing one of these review shows about this.
Damn right.
No.
Damn right. I also think I have I like the like private investigator school type, that kind of story, which I know there's not a lot of. It's not a genre filled with hundreds of things, but the private investigator in school is something that I've always been like, oh, that's a cool scenario, and I always
Gossip Girl. XOXO.
Fillmore.
no shit. I have for a very, very long time been considering watching Gossip Girl from the start, solely for that shit. And I know that may shake a lot of heads, but that's how much the setup. kind
Another
of-
Explosion Network show coming soon. In sad news to nerds everywhere, it was announced that The Big Bang Theory is going to be coming in the end with season 12 this year. Are you going to be all right, Nick? Are you going to be okay?
No, I'm not.
It's okay.
How much of Big Bang Theory do you reckon you've ever watched, Nick?
I owned up to season 5, I want to say.
Holy shit! You're part of the problem.
No, I was part of the problem.
Okay, you was part of the problem though.
Yes.
I watched up to about season 8, maybe. Yeah. It's just
God.
like one of those shows
In
that
my
you just
opinion,
leave on. I don't know.
The show
No.
fell down when they all got girlfriends.
Isn't that how it works with everyone in real life? Hey, okay, wearing everywhere. Hey, fuck yeah, men.
Yeah. We're better alone or better off alone. Lone wolves. Woo!
I think I the only characters I've enjoyed was actually was one of the ladies, Sheldon's girlfriend, whatever her name. Amy. Yeah, I quite
She
enjoyed
was
her
good.
on the show. Whenever I would randomly see it on, by passing on TV or whatever. But I was never a fan from day one. And I think the reason it pissed me off from day one was because I was watching the IT Crowd. And I don't think it had anything to do with the IT Crowd, but the moment I saw the show, I was automatically going, this is a rip-off of the IT Crowd. It's nothing like the IT Crowd. However, in my head, it was taking the idea of a comedy show based around nerds and Americans doing a version of it where they did every stereotype of the nerd to such a degree. I wasn't offended, but it was just stupid, Like, really? That's what we're going to do? You're going to have Sheldon and all these. It's like, oh, here's the nerds. They're on fucking playing video games and they're doing math trivia at the fucking dinner table and whatever else was going on. I was stupid. However, I did find to a degree, when it was announced that it was being cancelled, I didn't feel the need to be one of those people tweeting, fuck yes, I'm so happy, because as much as I was thinking, fuck yes, thank God. Like,
There's a lot of people who obviously love the show.
Yeah, my parents watch it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do like the show, and there's people who work on the show who, have to look for new
Obviously,
It's not like they were
there's a
fired, but
market.
at the same time, and I don't hate the actors either, So I just
Obviously-
hate the show.
Sorry. Obviously, there's a market for that kind of NBC, CBS, like fucking syndicated
That's why-
show, like the NCISs of the world, or the Big Bang Theories, or the 2.5 Men's, or something.
We're gonna
like
have that prequel now, so
Yeah, the Young Sheldons.
Young Sheldon.
Sheldons,
so
yeah.
they're good. They're good to go.
Eventually, yeah. So, with this 12th season, I think it becomes the longest running sitcom of all time. going past Cheers with 11 seasons and Frasier with 11 seasons.
Wasn't MASH the longest?
MASH?
though?
Oh, MASH. No. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was gonna say
I
MASH.
thought
went
I read that
forever.
somewhere, but I guess it's wrong. I don't know.
Didn't MASH have like 1,000 episodes or something ridiculous?
Yeah, it was quite long.
Yeah. When the MASH finished, my dad always tells me stories about how it was such a
Emotional.
It was a momentous
it
TV.
was,
It is
a, it was a
isn't
event.
The finale is most watched piece of television ever.
Thing on television history. Yeah, I think so. Well, like probably not bigger than sporting events or
No,
something.
it's not
like
bigger
that.
than Super Bowl
Man
or
on the
anything like
Moon,
that.
or but
Yeah,
TV wise, yeah.
Like a scripted television. Okay.
yeah, I'd believe that.
But yeah, apparently Jim Parsons turned down another 2-year deal, which would equivalent to $50 million. So apparently that's the main.
You have to be bored when you're getting paid $1 million an episode, don't you?
Yeah. No, MASH ran
Have to be
11
bored.
seasons as well.
Why don't they just continue the Big Bang Theory, but Ashton Kutcher plays every character?
Fuck.
Or he comes in as Sheldon's brother or something.
Could happen.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, Big Bang Theory. You've still got one more season, guys.
Not watching.
Gonna wrap up, hopefully. A bit of a rumor going around just as this last episode went to air. Apparently, Tom Cruise is being eyed to play Green Lantern in the Green Lantern Corps movie. Play Hal Jordan. Is this good casting? Bad casting? Interesting? I mean, I would watch it.
Yeah, it'd probably make me go and watch a DC film. I also read, interestingly, that it was originally written in that he would die, but Tom Cruise, if he was going to play it, that he wants that written out.
Yeah, that makes sense. He wants it.
He wants
It
that
makes
money.
sense to have an older Hal Jordan if you're going to kill him, I guess.
Yeah.
But if you're going to introduce a Hal Jordan, I'd prefer it to be a younger actor. I don't see.
Well, who's the other Green Lantern?
Well, there's a bunch of them. What
Yeah.
do you?
Well, the next most famous one. Isn't it a
Killmonger.
black guy?
Yes.
Jon
Yeah.
Stewart.
Yeah.
Not from the
It'd
Daily
be
Show.
interesting to have like a passing, kind of like an Ant-Man type situation.
I guess everyone wants Idris Elba to play him, but
Isn't he meant to be younger than Hal Jordan?
well, if they're gonna make fucking Tom Cruise Hal Jordan, what's it matter? We're throwing all the rules out the window,
Yeah.
aren't we? I cannot. Here's the thing. I laugh every time I picture it because to me it's funny. Tom Cruise playing a Green Lantern. My initial reaction every time I picture it is laugh, laugh at it because it's just like, oh, it's odd. It's just something odd about it. I guess I don't really know how to pinpoint it. It's just a weird scenario. But then at the same
Is it
time,
a good
when I
weird
actually
or a
take
weird
second to-
weird? Or bad weird?
It's just weird to picture him in
Is
that
it
suit. to me.
Heath
Something
Ledger
about it-
Joker or Jared Leto Joker?
Jared Leto Joker to me, weird. But then when I take a second to think about it, I go, it would actually be good. But my initial reaction every time I picture him in that suit is just to laugh. However I picture him in my head in that suit is hilarious. I don't know why. But yeah, no, he'd be fine, I guess. But at the same time, if you're just going to have Hal Jordan running around half the fucking movie in a CGI, like floating in the sky, that's CGI.
'Cause that
Maybe,
works well.
maybe that's what he wants.
Yeah.
He's getting tired. Can't keep
Like
jumping
doing
out
the
of
stunts.
helicopters. Body can't take
I mean,
anymore.
he can play a guy who flies planes well, I guess.
Yeah.
Is
It's Top Gun.
he's got the experience.
Top Gun 3.
Is Top Gun and the American or whatever that was called. That was flying
Made in
planes as well.
America or something.
Yeah, Made in America. That was flying planes as well, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
there you go. Sure.
Yeah. Also around that time, the HBO announced Watchmen is coming back on HBO. Or Damien Lindelof Damien Lindelof's Watchmen series has been picked up by HBO
Yeah, officially.
officially.
Yeah.
It has
Because they announced it. They did a pilot. Now they picked it up.
yeah. So apparently it's not going to be an adaptation or sequel. It's being called a remix, and they've already cast
I'm out.
Jeremy Irons as a character.
I'm back in.
Was you out for a second? And then
You were
just-
out at the beginning of that sentence and back in when I
Yep.
said Jeremy Irons. Dylan, you're a big Watchmen fan, I believe. Your thoughts, feelings?
You're a big Watchmen fan, I believe.
Wait, hold. Does it say what character
No.
Jeremy Irons would
No,
be playing.
there's no cast announcement. Everyone, of course, is like Jeremy Irons. He's going to be he's going to be playing Dr. Manhattan. That makes sense. But they've also said that because of the whole remix thing, they're going to be introducing new characters and maybe not having all the characters that you know. So Jeremy Irons could be playing Dr. Manhattan. He could be playing one of the new characters. It's not. If they were doing a straight up adaptation, I feel like if they announced the full cast, you could easily go Jeremy Irons is obviously Dr. Manhattan because that just makes sense. But because of the whole remix thing, it's
Nobody
not
knows
for
anything.
sure. Yeah. Watchmen HBO show, Damon Lindelof doing it. Sure, I'm down. This is the first thing he's doing after Leftovers, right? Like he hasn't done another TV show between Leftovers than this.
No.
Yeah. So I have high hopes that because Leftovers was what 4 seasons or whatever.
3 seasons.
3 seasons, yeah. So I'm having high hopes that this will be a similar type job for him, where it's 3-4 seasons, whatever they want to do, but not drag it on forever. At an 8 to 10 episode series. And Watchmen's a big enough world with enough lore and whatever else in it that you can. There's enough there for a TV show. I don't know. I honestly don't know how Zack Snyder fit as much as he did into the movie. Sometimes I think that every time I think about the Zack Snyder movie, I'm like, that has to be Zack Snyder's best movie. I feel
easily. I love that movie.
Yeah, it's good.
it's just really good adaptation. He fits so much into it, and he cut the stuff that was.
I think it was honestly better than the original. Like the way that he ended it was better than the original.
Well, they cut all the nonsense Kraken and the pirate
fucking
ship
giant
shit.
space squid and
Yeah. Which I kind of forgot about because I read the comic and then however many years ago when the first movie was when the original movie was coming out, read the comic and then watched the movie. I was like, fuck, this is completely different. I haven't read the comic since then, but then I've been reading obviously the DC crossover thing, and that squid comes back in as a major plot point. I was like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, that was a thing. I forgot that was. Yeah.
And this is the point where Frank dropped acid.
Yeah, I forgot that was a thing that happened. So, Watchmen is perfectly suited for a TV show, I think, though. More so than a lot of comics that have already been adapted into movies. Because there's just so much there. So many characters, so many things you could do. And I've faith in Damon Lindelof. I have no reason not to. So, cool cast. I'm down.
Yeah.
I don't even need to see a trailer. I'll watch it anyway, honestly. It's just one of those shows.
I mean, HBO,
Watchmen,
they've got a good track record. I imagine they put the money behind it. Obviously, with Game of Thrones and coming to an end, they've got a bit of more budget.
Yeah, and Westworld basically doing one-off, one-on years. The remix thing doesn't bother me either. I know a lot of people are going to get pissed off about that because for some reason people like if you want a straight-up adaptation, you've got the Zack Snyder film. So I'm quite happy to have a version that's taking some liberty, introduce some new characters, change some things because I don't need to see the same thing over and over and over done by different people. So I'm happy. I'm actually prefer the remix than just a straight up TV adaptation.
Cool. Final story I want to touch on. Apparently Netflix has been testing ads in between episodes of TV shows on their service. And
I feel like they've already done this.
Internet went crazy. I don't think this is going to be something they continue, possibly, unless they need the money, which I can't imagine they would. But it also comes on the heels of, what is it, Twitch Prime has dropped ads.
Oh yeah, the ad-free thing.
Yeah. Only on things you subscribe to will you get ad-free, so.
From what I read, all the ads were just like trailers of other shows on Netflix.
Yeah, but surely, I swear every time I finish a movie or a TV series,
it'll come up suggested to watch next,
else.
and it'll just start.
Yeah,
playing
but this
it.
is like in between episodes of something, like episode 15 and 16, an unskippable ad.
Then no.
Yeah.
No. If they do that, then I'm straight up saying no. Because what am I fucking paying for? If they wanna do a
But
free
on the other hand, what are you
version-
going to do about it? You're going to stop watching Netflix?
I'll
Has
fucking
Netflix
tweet
got
about
us
it like a
by the
normal
balls?
person.
Has Netflix got us by us?
Well, not really, because nowadays there's more streaming services for you to choose from.
Yeah. If they just came out, if they just randomly dropped this, then I'd be annoyed. If they were to just come out tomorrow and say, look, we're fucking got a million more series on here than we ever did when you first subscribed. We're spending billions and trillions of dollars. Look at all the shit you watch on Netflix. Look at all the shit you watch for the amount you pay.
Yeah.
Look, we just want to run a couple ads to help afford it. I might depending on how they word it, just be like, okay, that makes sense. I understand. How long are the ads going to be? 10 seconds every 6 episodes? All right, whatever. It's not the end of the world. Move on. If that's the reason they truly need to do it, because they've got way more content.
It's not like you're watching Foxtel and it's like a whole ad blocks in between and during episodes either.
Yeah. I mean, if they add ads to help upkeep the costs, and then they added a higher tier again, like $5 more, and said, here, if you want ad-free again, there is now a tier to get ad-free on top of what you're already paying just for our content, I'd probably just end up paying the $5 extra.
Yeah.
I don't think I would, because that's nearing over $20 a month for me.
But the amount of Netflix stuff I watch.
Yeah. This show relies on Netflix.
Yeah, this show pretty much relies on me having Netflix at this stage.
Yeah, so.
How many penis movies do you have on Stan?
I haven't looked into it. I'll do my homework.
Come back to us next week. So I want to debut a new segment. It's called
Holy shit.
Would You Want to Watch It? So every week there seems to be a slew of announcements of different movies that have been picked up or optioned. So I thought I'd just run through a few of them and get your impressions whether you'd want to watch this film if it ever ends up being made. Which there probably will be.
Okay, this is like what you did with the TV show thing when I was on an airplane.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. So the Russo brothers, directors of the Avengers Infinity War, have picked up have been attached to a book called Cherry, which is has the premise. It's about an affluent soldier who goes to Iraq as an army medic, comes home with PTSD, and as an outlet for his drug habit and his debts, he starts robbing banks. Yeah, based on a true story. Fun fact that the author who wrote it is currently in prison, which made the auction for the rights to this very difficult because apparently he didn't have enough prison phone minutes to make calls and stuff to get to sell the rights.
I'm pretty sure you can't. There's a law in America where you can't make profits off your crimes, so it's weird how that works.
Don't know. Yeah, well, it's fictional, so it's slightly based on. But apparently there are a lot of bidders for this property as well. Apparently James Franco was possibly going to be attached to direct, and some other people. Yeah, so something you'd be interested in.
What are we giving it? Yes, no. What are the ratings? Can I give it a meh? Can I give it a medium? Can I give it a 1 up,
yes,
1
no,
down?
meh.
Meh.
Okay, I'll give it a yes. Moving on. Apparently they're doing a Gallagher TV series. Roberto Orsi of Star Trek fame is going to be attached, and it's going to be animated. Is that something you'd be interested in, or would you only be interested if it was called Galaga?
Meh.
No.
Yeah, this doesn't sound like a good idea.
Sounds like Battleship.
Okay, have you guys heard about this? There was a Daily Beast article called "How an Ex-Cop Rigged McDonald's Monopoly Game and Stole Millions." Have you heard of this article?
No. I have not.
So, pretty much the article opens in 2001 in Rhode Island as $1 million check is delivered to a man who's said he's won the $1 million grand prize after collecting Monopoly pieces attached to food products, the infamous Monopoly game that they play every couple of years. Defying the one in $250 million odds and modeled after the venerable board game, the pieces that the piece says was invented as a warning about the destructive nature of greed. A camera crew was dispatched to hear how the man won, and they chronicled his series of lies. The FBI agents closing in on a sting that began with a tip about an Uncle Jerry who'd sell stolen game pieces. Solid detective work unearthed Jerry Jacobson, a head of security for a local Los Angeles company responsible for generating the game pieces. It led to a wide conspiracy that involved mobsters, psychics, strip club owners, drug traffickers, and a family of Mormons who falsely claimed to have won more than $24 million in cash and prizes. This is being directed by Ben Affleck, starring Matt Damon.
Okay.
That's assuming that Ben Affleck gets out of rehab. Written by the Deadpool screenwriters as well. Yes, no, meh?
I have to see a trailer first.
I feel like I'm just gonna say yes. I like Ben Affleck's a good director.
Yeah.
Matt Damon's a good actor. Premise sounds funny.
Yeah. So this article went up, and like a week later, it was sold. And apparently, Universal was trying to get it for Kevin Hart. Warner Brothers was trying to get it as well for Steve Carell. Netflix was trying to pick it up for Robert Downey Jr. and Todd Phillips. And I think there was somebody else as well trying to get the film. So, yeah. It was highly sought after.
Robert Downey Jr. teaming up with Todd Phillips again since their hit comedy, whatever that was called, the road trip movie.
Yeah.
The
Due Date.
Due Date. There you go. Zach Galifianakis was in it.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
That was alright.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. I'll watch this.
So the short story / novella written by Stephen King and Joe Hill, In the Tall Grass,
Yes.
is being directed by Vincenzo Natali, starring Patrick Wilson. It tells the story of a brother and sister who pull off to the side of the road after hearing a young boy crying for help from beyond the tall grass. Within minutes, they are disorientated in deeper than seems possible, and they've lost one another. The boy's cries are more and more desperate. What follows is a terrifying, entertaining, and masterfully told tale. Yeah. Yes from a Dylan. What did you think, Nick?
Meh. Like, Stephen King's adaptations are either great or shit. So...
The question is, would you watch it? Not do you think it's going to be good?
I don't know. I can't make these decisions without seeing a trailer. I'll watch it. Probably not at the cinemas, but
Look,
on
the
Netflix.
segment isn't would you watch it if you could get a trailer. It's based on the information Ash gives you. Would you watch it?
I can't make decisions. This is too much pressure on me.
I should have seen this coming. Apparently, Natalie Portman is going to direct a film based on the identical twins who did dueling advice columns. The sisters were behind the Ann Landers and Dear Abby advice columns.
I
Interested?
have no idea what you're on about.
So, there were two identical sisters, and they were doing
Yeah.
advice columns that were like rivals. Like
advice.
like relationship advice. Like, Dear Abby, my boyfriend was doing drugs.
So identical twins.
Yes.
Worked at opposing advice columns.
Yes.
And what's the butt of the joke?
I don't know. Natalie Portman's playing them both.
Okay. Sounds like a setup for a joke or something.
No, yeah. I don't know. Apparently it's a real life story, so...
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I find it interesting she's going to direct and star as both twins. That seems like a lot.
Yes, I guess. But yeah, I'd say yes, but yeah. I'd at least watch it, yeah.
Yep, and Nick can't decide.
No, I won't watch it.
Uh-huh. Okay, and Eddie Redmayne and Jessica Chastain are attached to a film called The Good Nurse, based on a book. It follows a murderer called Charlie Cullen. When Charlie Cullen was arrested in 2003, journalists had dubbed him the Angel of Death, but Cullen was neither mercy killer nor monster. He was husband and son and father and best friend and a valued caregiver. He was also implicated in the deaths of as many as 400 people and may be the most prolific serial killer in American history.
I'm
Yes.
Googling him because I've never heard of this person. I'm like, how can they?
Also,
Most prolific serial killer?
yeah, apparently Darren Aronofsky is also on as a producer.
I'm down. Darren Aronofsky's in. I'm in.
Yeah, this sounds interesting.
The guy kind of looks like fuck. Come back to me.
Hopefully Eddie Redmayne.
It doesn't look like Eddie Redmayne actually. I mean, yeah, I'd watch anything about serial killers. Really, it hits my spot. A good serial killer show.
Yeah, who doesn't like a serial killer?
Well, I don't like the serial killers. Don't twist my words now. Over there. Look at him. Look at him go, listeners. Look at him go.
All right, that's the end of this segment of whatever I decided to call it at the beginning of the segment.
Would we watch? No.
Would you watch it?
Would you watch this?
Would you watch this? It's definitely going to be coming back. Nick, most importantly,
Yes.
what did we end up watching this week?
Crazy Heart.
Mr. Blake, I'm Jean Craddock from The Sun Scene. Tape recorder okay?
Go ahead, that's right.
What's your real name?
I'm Bad Blake. My tombstone will have my real name on it. Until then, I'm just gonna stay bad.
Your heart's on the loose. You rode them sevens with nothing to lose.
Where'd all those songs come from?
Life, unfortunately.
Yes, Crazy Heart, the 2009 film directed by Scott Cooper, starring Jeff Bridges, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Colin Farrell, and somebody else.
Duvall.
Yes, that's who. It follows a faded country music performer is forced to reassess his dysfunctional life during a doomed romance that also inspires him. Nick, you picked the movie this week.
I did.
What was the reasoning, thought process?
I like country music.
Fair enough. What's what's your hashtag, Nick's mini review?
Crazy Heart. I went into this really wanting to like it. However, I was only mildly interested the whole way through, apart from the scene towards the end with the child. Bridges plays the story of a self-destructive alcoholic well. I adored the soundtrack. 6 out of 10. Hashtag Nick's mini review.
Dylan, do you agree, disagree?
Yeah, I don't think it was very good, to be honest. Jeff Bridges he won an Oscar for it. Sure. You know, I can't go back in time and compare it to every other movie or every other nominee, but he's very good in the movie. Plays the drunk, the addict quite well. He also sings quite decently.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good singer.
There you go. There's your surprise for you.
Not really. He's got an album out.
Music was good. Acting was good. Storyline.
The romance between him and Maggie Gyllenhaal didn't feel earned at all.
No.
It just came out of nowhere.
It felt
it
felt creepy
so
to start
odd.
off with.
Yeah.
Like, especially in today's climate. It was sort of like in a room hitting on her, sort of. Yeah. It's kind of, it felt weird.
It's apparently
One second
based
they're
off
interviewing,
a book also.
the next second he's like, they're making out. It was really odd. It just came out of left field. Her character's just wasted in this because she's kind of she's more interesting than him to a degree because she's a single mom journalist. Then by the end of the movie, she's made her way up the career ladder, and like she's the success story of the movie, and she has the happy ending and everything like that. But at some point, my brain did go, wait, I just kind of want to be finding out what's happening in her life now because he's a drunk addict. And even though he gets help by the end of the movie,
Farrell.
Yeah, there is some point where you're just like, he's a lost cause. And I don't like him. I didn't like him as a character. I didn't feel bad for him. I didn't go, oh, you know, poor soul. I was just like, yeah, I don't like you. You're a bad person. I don't particularly care for it. I'm glad that he's all split up. And although the moment where we'll dive into spoilers. Yeah, shall we?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Spoilers for Crazy Heart.
The moment where he like loses the kid.
Oh man,
and all that.
Just the second he walked in that bar,
gut-wrenching.
you knew it was going to go badly.
Yeah,
that was gut wrenching. It was gut wrenching because the moment he lost the kid, gut wrenching. But the moment he walks into the bar, you're just like, oh, I fucking hate you.
Yeah,
fucking shit.
You're not supposed to drink in front of the kid.
Yeah, and after she told you one fucking rule and all this. So yeah, I don't like him. Didn't like the character. Didn't like his character. It's quite funny how his character hates Colin Farrell's character so much.
Colin Farrell adores him.
The short time we spent with Colin Farrell's character, I'm like,
cool.
Seems like an alright guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
See, so
like really grateful.
everyone.
And
I think he's just bitter towards Colin Farrell because he's the
Yeah.
hot thing at the moment, and he's just faded off into obscurity.
yeah.
Yeah. I suppose that's the.
Well, it's meant to symbolise the old guard to the new, like, highly polished type of country kind of thing.
Yeah. Well,
But
he's a bit of alcoholic. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you kind of expect, yeah. But then he comes full circle in the end.
One thing I did enjoy was that even though he came clean at the end and, like, fixed up his life per se, he still didn't get the girl back.
Oh, thank God, yeah. That would
Yeah,
have
no, I
been,
would've
that would
been
have
pissed
been
off.
way
I
too
would've-
cheesy.
Yeah.
way too cheesy. I would have been coming to this show saying, fuck this movie with its fucking shitty, horrible written in ending where, oh yeah, they does all the things wrong, gets sober, and then comes back and the girl's like, oh, no problem. So it's
Yeah.
fine. I'll get with you now. That's
And I'm
fine.
glad that the son didn't want anything to do with him either.
Yeah, that was
Wow,
also good.
That's pretty cruel. Nick.
No, it makes
Well, no,
sense.
well,
though.
it
Yeah, I know.
it doesn't give any false, like, kind of, I go, oh yeah, you can just, after fucking over your family for so long, you don't just get to come back into his life whenever and expect to be loved.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was alright. Yeah. I it was very watchable. I couldn't stop watching. Like, but maybe that's like a train wreck thing. It's like,
I felt like it went for too long. I
Yeah,
would have preferred it. To
it
be
felt like
tight.
a drag for me.
yeah, I think maybe the second time, like when he breaks his ankle, that bit kind of slowed everything down. But yeah,
Just get to the train wreck faster and end their fucking. Well, actually, no. You could cut a lot of. You could fine tune it by getting to her faster because I feel it's like 20 minutes at the start.
there is a
before
lot
they
of
meat. It felt.
Do you think this is a musical?
No.
No, a musical is La La Land. They have to be singing the story.
Okay,
You know,
but there was a lot of long song sequences, which I think
it's a
added
movie with
to
music
No,
sequences.
yeah, I understand. A musical is probably more where the music's telling the
Is
story.
Get Rich or Die Trying a musical or 8 Mile a musical?
Could be.
I think for me a musical is like the music is telling the
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, Singing in the Rain, whatever. It's Sound of Music.
Rocky
whatever
Horror Picture
classic-
Show.
Rocky Horror Picture Show, yeah. Whatever classics you want to go with.
Grace.
Classical musicals. There's a reason they don't make these. Well, actually, if you want to watch musicals these days,
Rock of Ages.
you have to go watch animated stuff. It's like really the only way you find musicals these days.
Yeah.
Nick's shaking his head. I'm not sure if he's disagreeing with me or
Excuse
saying
me,
fuck
we've
that
already
shit.
watched a musical for this whole show series.
Oh, that's right, we did. We're not talking
Ashley
about
has no idea.
No, I'm trying to
Well,
think of the
we're
episode
talking
number. I feel like it's 4 or 5. Insert episode
don't
number
watch
here. Episode
5.
You're not going to do that.
Yeah. Any other notes you guys want to hit on? Feel like there's not a lot to cover. Do you want to know the other actors that Jeff Bridges was up against?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner for Hurt Locker.
Yes.
That's the only one I remember.
Morgan Freeman for Invictus. Colin Firth for A Single Man. And George Clooney for Up in the Air.
Colin Firth.
Probably.
Or George Clooney. Both of those movies are way better than this. And if I had to pick, I would say Colin Firth for A Single Man.
Have you seen Invictus?
I've seen Invictus. I don't think it's better than A
So
Single
you
Man
hate
or Up
Nelson
in the Air.
Mandela.
Yep.
I believe, yeah, that is 100% how it works. I don't like Hurt Locker. I think it's a
Yeah, I hated
average as fuck movie.
Not only that, it was very fucking unrealistic too.
It was the most. Look, we're gonna give this movie a bunch of awards because America, fuck yeah, you know that's. The
I
only
think
reason
you'll
feel like
find
that
it was
movie
given a lot of
nominated.
awards because it was directed by a woman.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope. I think it was just given awards because it was big military flagging. Fuck yeah, I wear whatever you want, how you want to word that, but. That movie, I remember how hyped up it was. As a
was
side
garbage.
tangent, I remember how hyped up it was and the award structure and everything. And I sat down watching it thinking I was about to watch the latest fucking,
Greatest thing ever.
you know, the latest and greatest war movie.
New
or
Saving Private
some-
Ryan or Thin Red Line. Or
Something like that.
The new
And it was
American
just-
Sniper.
It was just,
I think his American Sniper came out
Average.
after.
that was years and years. American Sniper was years and years later. Up in the Air, I think is 10 out of 10. Single Man,
Yeah.
I think is 10 out of 10. And if I had to pick one of those performances, I'm giving it to Colin Firth.
Sorry if Jeff Bridges. Dylan wants your hand in your Academy Award.
Sorry.
And with that, we come to the end of this episode of What Do You Want to Watch?
Oh, wait, I have a piece of trivia.
Yeah, you got a piece of
Did
trivia?
you look up the trivia for? I had one more piece of trivia for this movie.
Yeah.
The sequence where him and Colin Firth perform at that stadium was filmed at a live concert.
Yeah?
Like they,
I did have to.
I thought that was kind of cool.
That-
Yeah, I thought that was
that
kind of
would be
cool.
way
how-
too expensive to hire a bunch of extras to be in the crowd.
that many people. Yeah, apparently there's 12,000 people there. Some country musician I've never heard of, but
What was his name?
Probably the
something
something Bingham
remember.
is the...
No, it's something.
Okay.
Something Keith. Someone Keith.
Keith Urban.
Nope.
Toby
no, it's
Keith.
The overway around. It might be Toby Keith. That might actually sounds like a legit answer. But apparently the audience didn't know or anything, and they had 10 minutes, but in the middle of the set or whatever. So out comes Jeff Bridges. Everyone in the audience, of course, their reaction is yeah, which works for the movie, but at the same time they're like yeah, Jeff Bridges, and then what works even better is that when Colin Farrell walks out, everyone in the audience is like, fuck, when they all go crazy. It works storyline wise, but everyone's just going crazy, and you see him in the movie, they all start putting their phones up because they're taking pictures of him, but it works so well for the movie. But
because they're all young people who didn't know who Jeff Bridges was.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. But after they filmed it all, of course, it was all over YouTube that day, and it was like trending and whatever else, Yeah. I don't recall this being a thing, but there you go.
There you go.
I thought that was kind of funny. Interesting tidbit.
Dylan, if people want to hear more of your tidbits or follow what you've been watching, where can they find you on Twitter or on Trakt.tv?
You can find me on Trakt and Twitter at Viva La Dil, VIVALADIL. Links in the description below.
What about you, Nick? Where can people find you?
Lord and Prior, PRIOR.
And you can find me in those places at Ashley Hobley, ASHLEYHOBLEY. It's a thing. You can also follow the Explosion Network at Explosion Pod on Twitter, or you can check out our Twitch over at twitch.tv/Explosion Network, where apparently our own Nicholas Pyre and Dylan Blight just did a Preacher review discussion. It was so good.
We did. It was really good.
It's really good. If you didn't watch it live, you can watch it over at youtube.com/Explosion Network. And then you can find all our awesome content over at explosionnetwork.com. If you've got any suggestions for segments, any suggestions on improvements, like not doing that other segment, you can send us you can send them to mail@explosionnetwork.com and then leave a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser with 5 stars. Even if it's critical, just leave 5 stars. Yeah. So, until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.
The Explosion Network's premier media podcast, What Do You Want to Watch, is a fortnightly show hosted by Ashley Hobley that covers the biggest stories in movies, TV, online media, and more before asking, what did we end up watching? Each episode, we discuss one particular movie or show that you can join in the discussion with by tweeting us, emailing, or posting on our Discord. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts or other podcasting services, or find the show at explosionnetwork.com.
It follows a faded country music musician. Why would you use music musician? That IMDb, what are you doing to me? Faded country music musician. A country. Oh, they made that much. Fucking hell. I'm so happy.
Well, technically, that's not wrong.
I know. It just did. It didn't make sense that music and musician were right next to each other to start off with. A faded.
It's country music, and he's a musician.